And today we pause to commemorate and celebrate the birth of the father of the nation, the Right Honorable George Cadle Price, who was born 100 years ago today. Our national hero was and remains our greatest revolutionary, and his legacy and memory cannot be anything other than our greatest example.
1 century ago, 100 years ago, in this beautiful nation, George Price was born. He grew up like most of the children of his day under colonial rule, where there was no electricity, little, if any, running water, no modern plumbing, and none of those basic things we today take for granted. Yet none of these challenges prevented him from realizing his ambition to become a good person, a virtuous man, and someone who would be chosen to lead this nation to independence.
George Price came from his parents, William and Irene Cecilia Price, in a physical sense, but in a philosophical and otherwise sense, George Price was the child of Belize. Belize gave birth to him and nurtured him, and thus he was sent to fulfill the mission of his creator, and not necessarily to fulfill the desires of his parents.
The first time I met Right Honorable George Cadle Price was in 1999. It was the first time that I came to Belize. I ran into him at Holy Redeemer. I had no idea who this guy was. I'd never been here before. And somebody said, "Do you know who that is?" I said, "No." He's like, "He's the father of Belize." And I just almost fell out of my chair. Because those who knew him, and you hear it in the remarks being made, he was a very humble man. He was a humble man who was inspired with a vision, and it was a vision that was not about himself. It was a vision about a nation, a vision for this nation. And it's that we celebrate today, his humility. His humility as a child of God.
History, it is said, a little kinder and gentler than the present. And for some of us who probably had difficulty understanding the ways of Mr. Price, or probably didn't understand his motivation, perhaps thought him to be a bit eccentric in part, time will perhaps reveal to us that we were given a real treasure of a man whose memory we must preserve for the generations of Belizeans yet to come.
It is because he saw many positive things to so many of us, both here and indeed throughout the world, that today I do not stand in his shadow, but rather in his light of determination of his beliefs and extraordinary leadership, which continues to inspire all of us. I commemorate and celebrate his birth and achievements today, but I declare that we should live by his example today and every day. The Right Honorable George Cadle Price served the people as Lord Mayor of Belize City from 1958 to 1962 until he was elected to serve as the nation's first minister. This Belize City Council will pay appropriate tribute to commemorate his extraordinary life, to celebrate his tremendous achievements, even as we seek to live by the guidance of his example with the commissioning of a portrait to grace our institution. We all know that there can be no greater tribute to this man whose life reminds us always that we too can make our lives sublime by striving to serve our people as he did. I thank you all. Long live Belize. Long live the memory of George Cadle Price. Thank you.